Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello, sir. Shall we start?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, I am Professor Mangesh Panchibhai. On behalf of Mechanical Engineering Department and in association with IIC, today we are going to organize one webinar on business model canvas. Our today's speaker is Mr. Tejas Ahire. He is our alumni. I welcome you, Tejas, on behalf of our department and IIC. Welcome you. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. I would like to give some introduction, a brief and short introduction related to Mr. Tejas. As far as Tejas is concerned, he is an alumni of 2018-19 batch. Okay, he has completed his graduation from KK Institute of Engineering in the stream of mechanical engineering. Okay, throughout his 4 years of engineering, he was a topper in our in the mechanical branch. Okay, that is his we can say that trademark for him to become a topper for the from first year to last year. Okay, then he has in 2019 he has taken he is admitted into the Jamnalal Bajaj JBIMS college for MBA course, where also he has during his course he has also top over there also. That is his habit, I think so. Okay, he has regarding his achievements are concerned, he got a 10 out of 10 CGPA SGPA during his MBA. Okay, as well as a biggest achievement that I know about him, he is that he was a university topper during his graduation, means during his mechanical engineering. That was his biggest achievement that I know. One of the biggest achievement that I came across, that he was a best outgoing student from Jamnalal Bajaj Institute. That is, and right now he is working as a marketing manager for Amazon India from June 2021 to the till date. Okay, this is general introduction I can say for Mr. Tejas Ahire, and it is my pleasure to introduce you. And today's so with that welcome note, I would like to say thank you that for accepting our invitation, and I will request you to guide our student regarding today's session. Thank you, sir. Bharat sir.
Hello, Tejas. Now you are host, Tejas.
Hello.
Tejas, you are audible.
Cool. Thanks for confirming, sir. Sorry, I got dropped. Some bandwidth issues on my.
Okay.
Cool. So thanks a lot, Panchwai sir, for that very generous introduction, I must say. If it's okay, then I'll just quickly share my screen, and I have a presentation ready. I'll maybe share that with the broader audience, if that's okay.
Yes.
Okay. Just sharing my screen. All right.
Yeah.
Do let me know once it's visible.
Your screen is visible, Tejas.
Hello. Can you please confirm if the screen is visible?
Yes, yes, Tejas.
Yes,
Audible
screen
and
is-
visible, both.
both are.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Cool. So yeah, so folks, as Panchabhai sir has already, done the introduction part, I'll quickly jump into the topic of discussion today, right? So, as I already told, our topic of discussion today will be business canvas, right? And just before starting on this particular topic, just to give an emphasis on why business model or business model canvas is a very important concept, I just like to quote Mr. Red Hoffman, who is the co-founder of LinkedIn and a serial entrepreneur, right? So, in one of his interviews last year, he mentioned that many of the co-founders or founders of the businesses, they focus so much on their products, their design, the processes that they're implementing, that doing all of that, vision, they forget to build a business out of whatever idea they're having or whatever concept they're working on. So they rather focus on the product and not on the business or how to scale that up. And that is a prominent reason
We lost you. Tejas, you are not audible.
so with oh,
Hello, Tejas.
I'm so sorry, folks, for this. I'm working. It's just there is a power cut today here, and I'm working out of my mobile hotspot. There could be some glitches, but I hope I'm clearly audible now, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, sharing my screen again. All right. Yeah. So as I was saying, right, as I was quoting Mr. Red Hoffman and what he said, basis that creating a business model right at the beginning of having a business idea or a startup idea becomes very crucial. But even before we go into what a business model is, right, I like to first, just talk about what is business in general. And if like say, if in a single sentence we have to sum up what a business is, then I'll say that business, in general is like you're doing some sort of activity, you're producing some goods, or you're delivering some services to the end consumer in format possible, right? That is mutually agreed between both the parties. That is business in general, right? You're just, it can be either exchange of goods, or it can be either you're providing some sort of a business. Can be as simple as say your hair salon, customers are coming in and you're giving them of offering them various services. So business can be as simple as that. And with that being said, for a business, many of the times while talking about businesses, we think that the primary objective why a business exists is mostly to earn profit. Or whenever we see that whenever we say that say I want to do a business, or this is some startup I'll be doing, most people focus on the profit aspect of it, right? And that is what becomes their end objective of running that business. But if in the broader scheme of things, if you look at the broader business vision in general, profit is not generally the primary objective that can be there. The primary objective for any business is to create value for the customers. And when I say value for the customers, then how do you create value in general, right? Value is a very ambiguous terms. Its definition varies from person to person. So value would be, if a customer is having some problem, right? A customer is say living in a very hot and a dry climatic region, and during the summertime they want something to cool the atmosphere they are living in. So that is the problem they are facing, right? They are not able to perform their day-to-day activities because of the heat that is there in the surrounding. So to solve for that, you can simply come up with an as simple innovation as an air cooler, and you're solving a customer's problem in the long run, right? So that is how you're adding value in the customer's life, by solving a problem they were facing. Or the second aspect of value addition could be doing something that something say customer has some want, right? The first case we talked about was a customer had a need where they needed something to solve a problem they were facing. The second case could be they want something, right? Like say you just bought a new house. Having a house was a necessity because you want a roof on your head. But then once you have that house in place, getting some luxury curtains for that house is not really a need, right? That might be a want, that hey, I just want some luxurious curtains for this place to look nice, and that is a want for the customer. You're solving for that, so you're adding value with whatever they wanted, right? So it's just you're solving their need, or you're providing services or products for their wants, and that's how you're adding value in the customer's life. Now, as I talked a lot about value, right, on what is value and how you can add value in the customer's life. So a business model in general starts there itself, right? The when at the very first of at the very beginning, you want to capture whatever value you're providing to the customer. So I'll just move on to the next slide. And before we jump into business model canvas in particular, I'll just like to give you guys a quick glimpse of how it looks like. So this is in general what a business model canvas looks like. It has 9 distinct elements, and the very reason why it was devised among many other kind of business models or marketing models in general was to just simplify whatever business you're doing, right, to put it onto a single paper so that you can communicate your broader vision and how you plan to conduct that business to the broader audience. That was the first objective, that like say, hey, I have a startup idea, and I don't know how to approach maybe say the venture capitalists for that matter and show them what kind of idea I have and then get funding for that. If you want to do that, then the first thing you would want to do is create a business model out of that idea you are having, and then put it on a paper so that everyone can relate to your idea in general. That is the first objective we can have. The second would be like, say you have an existing business, right? And so you're facing some hiccups down the road with your existing business, right? And you just want to structure your business in a better way. So you again go to the drawing board, you put together this 9 building blocks, and you create a business model out of that. And you then go and analyze how every single of these building blocks are communicating with each other so that you understand that where your business is lacking, and then you can go and fix that. That can be the second objective why we need a business model canvas. The third would be you want to evolve your business. Like say you have been doing business a particular way, it is flourishing and it's all well, but then you just want to grow beyond the existing horizons that you are having. You want to grow into some say new product or something like that. Then again, doing something like this, putting together these 9 blocks will become essential, wherein you will again go and you'll again start from a value addition phase. You will you'll start with value addition, and then at the end of the day you'll go to costs and revenue and put everything in place so that you understand that whether going into that new venture is profitable for you, or whether it makes sense for you or not. So this is in general why we need a business model, and in particular why we need to put it on a paper so that it is very it's right in front of your eyes. It's right in front of all your employees eyes. They at the end of the day know what exactly you're doing, right, what the company stands for, and how it functions. So that was the one thing, right? And then about blocks in general, right? First is that of value proposition. Now this is something where you want to define that, hey, how we are really adding value to our customers. Like value, already defined value, what it means and how you can add that. Then second would be, okay, fine, you have some product, you feel that that product can add value in the customer's life. The second would be who the real customer is that we want to go after, right? Now there are some 9 billion people on the face of the earth, but out of that, which sub segment you really want to target, and why these customers would buy your product, you need to define that. So you do that in the second phase, which is your defining the customer segments. Then once you know that, hey, this is the value I'm delivering, these are the customers to whom I'm delivering the value, you need to figure out through what channels I need to deliver that, right? That it can be either a physical channel or a digital channel through which I'm delivering the value. And it's completely fine if you're not able to get a complete sense of this channel and say your revenue streams and customer relationships at this point in time. We are going to discuss every single of this element in a greater depth going ahead in forward slides, right? So then there is a channels, right? The way you're delivering this value to the customers. And after delivering this value to the customers, the fourth would be developing customer relationships, right? And why we need customer relationships is like when you followed 1, 2, 3, you delivered value at one point, at one instant. But for the business to be sustainable, you want those customers to come back to you and keep on purchasing from you again and again. And that's when developing customer relationships becomes very crucial. So that's the fourth part. Then you can see on the right hand side, right, whenever we are talking about customers, channels and customer relationships, at the end of the day, जब भी आप मार्केट में जा रहे हो एंड यू आर सेलिंग दैट प्रोडक्ट, कस्टमर्स को कुछ ना कुछ प्रोडक्ट आपने बेचा या फिर कुछ सर्विस आपने प्रोवाइड की, at the end of the day it will generate sale for your organization, right? And hence all these three combined together will add to your revenue stream. So you get revenue out of that. So the right side of the business model canvas is generally associated with the revenue part of it. Then revenue stream will be different things, right? You sell the product, you get direct whatever money out of it. That could be one part. Another could be models like the way the Google implements it, right, where they sell the ads to different advertisers and get revenue through that. So we'll talk about that in the later parts of the session, right? Then going to the left side of the business model canvas, there are key resources. Now you're going out in the market, you're delivering value to the customers, you're using multiple channels, but वो करने के लिए आपके पास कुछ तो resources होने चाहिए, right? At the end of the day, there are few things you will need to do to be able to do that, and to be able to do that over a longer period of time. So these are the key resources that we put together here. Then again, you'll be doing some key activities. It could be something as simple as directly employing a salesman on the ground and selling the product. Something can be like, say, you're providing consulting services to others, if it is a consulting company for that matter. So consulting or providing professional services to other people would be the key activity for them. And then by doing all of that, you will have different people who will be working with you, right? And that becomes essential, and that we capture in the partner section, who you're partnering with to deliver all of that. And when we talk of key resources or key activities that we're doing, or the key partnerships we want to maintain, is sabke liye you will need some costs, right? There will be some costs incurred while doing all of that. So the left side talks about the costs that you will be incurring in the longer term. And the ninth block, we measure that. We measure like what are the costs that we are incurring while running this business. So these are the total 9 sections, right, that we have in a business model canvas. The right side depicting all the revenue streams you're getting, and the left side depicting all the costs that you will be incurring, and then at the center of it is value proposition, because the whatever value you're delivering is the king of all of this business proposition you're having at the end of the day. So this is the business model canvas in general, folks. Now, while explaining all these different building blocks, right, 9 building blocks, or just to tell you on how you can build a business model canvas for your idea in a longer term, I'll try to depict it with the help of a case study, right? So I picked up a case study from Zara, right? Now, Zara, we all know, is a kind of a luxury fashion retail giant, right? And they are selling whatever fashion products, mostly clothes and different fashion related accessories, to a premium range of customers through their retail outlets or through online mediums. So I'll be depicting all these 9 elements with respect to Zara, and then I have some other business model canvases as well, which we can go through and understand like how different industries have different business models in place. Now, while starting with that, right, now if you're talking of Zara's case in general, then if you're talking of Zara's case in general, then first, as I quoted previously itself, that the first building block would be your value proposition, to capture what value you're exactly providing. And if you talk of Zara, then what is the value that they are providing, right? And as again is mentioned here, then what is the customer's exact problem that you're trying to solve? So in Zara's case, it is that, hey, customers want fashionable clothes and accessories. So these are the wants of the customers that are there, and they want while going and shopping for these fashionable clothes and accessories, they want to have a very great experience or a premium experience, and that is what Zara is trying to do, right? So their value proposition is basically the 5 different elements. First is they are providing fashionable clothes, they are providing fashionable accessories, and they are delivering a great e-commerce experience while doing that. which not many other companies are, being able to replicate in the market. Then they are providing a flagship store experience as well. As I mentioned, they have both the channels. They have physical channel as well as they have a digital channel. So they are providing a premium experience on both of their channels. And if you go to a Zara store and see right there, kind of a environment these guys have created, it is not easy to replicate, and not many brands have been able to replicate that, at least in India. If you could see, so that becomes their unique value proposition. That hey, if you're talking of a hassle-free experience of buying clothes, Zara is the top name that would come to your mind. And on top of all this, one other unique selling proposition they have is the fast fashion. What I really mean by fast fashion here, that if you look at the Zara products, right, why customers are so obsessed with these products is because the trends or the clothes they are having in the market, they are the top trends or the most newest kind of a trends that could be possible. They refresh their entire catalog every 25 to 30 days, so that last month, whatever you're wearing last month, it won't be available in the store if you go after 25 or 30 days. Their entire stock would have changed with the newest kind of trends that are there in the market. And that again becomes their unique value proposition that they're providing to these customers. So this is how you in general capture the value proposition. You just try to find out that, hey, what am I doing differently than the competition here? And why should this particular customer buy from me only, and say in case of Zara, not go to your Target or your Pantaloons or other retail fashion outlets? So that becomes really important here. You're capturing the value proposition. And at the end of the day, while defining this, one thing you need to know is that you are in the market to sell to the customers, right? The customer is not there for you. You are there for the customers. So you have to provide them some value at the end. And this is how you do it. So if now, again, coming back to the same template, right? The general template that we have. So this is your value proposition. This is how you feel that you put all the unique selling propositions you're having in the first column. Then again, like say, just moving a bit out of the Zara's case, right? If you have to talk about, say, for that matter, maybe Amazon, then if I have to capture what is the value proposition of Amazon, then it would be something as similar as, hey, there are customers. Now, customers were used to buy products in a particular way. If you want to buy a product, you will go to your nearest grocery outlet or your nearest mall. You explore for different things and you'll shop at the end of the day. But then if you're talking about metro cities or just the traffic these days, it's very difficult for you to do that, right? It takes a lot of time, and again, the collection that is there is very limited. So you want to have a kind of a platform which just provides you at your fingertips. You're sitting at the comfort of your house, and you're able to buy these products at a very great at a very great experience. So that is the value proposition of Amazon, that they're providing you all these you plethora of products that can be there across the geographies, and that to delivering that to your house in a very convenient manner and in a very fast manner. Yes, so that's the value that would be the value proposition for Amazon in general, if I have to talk. Cool. So I'll just stop here for a very brief moment. If you folks at any point in time have any questions, concerns, or comments, then please feel free to put that in the chat box, or raise your hand, unmute yourself, speak up. Because I would really prefer if you have a question at any point in time, then if I could clear it right then and there, then nothing like it, rather than waiting for the session to end and then having all the questions come in. I would please request Bharati sir or Panchbhai sir, if you could, if there are any questions in the chat box, then please intimidate me on that, because I'm not really able to see the chat box here right while presenting.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Cool. So yeah, if there are any questions, I just pause for a quick 10 seconds, and if you guys chime in if you have anything here. Okay, I see something popping up in the chat box. Does the value proposition is influenced by the cost? Okay, so Atharva, right now we're at the very first stage of setting up the business model, right? And value proposition should not be influenced by cost, and I'll tell you why it should not be influenced by cost. Because here, like say, as I talked of Zara's case, right? Now they are a very premium brand. The products that they are selling, they are very they carry a very high price tag. And they are not concerned about it, because they know that, hey, whatever product we are producing, there is some market segment out there who is going to buy our product. So at this point in time, when you are just preparing your idea that, hey, this is the idea I have, this can solve our customer's problem, don't really worry about the cost at this moment, right? Let your mind be very free and think of all the ways in which you can get this in the market and solve for the customer problem. Now, but again, at the end of the day, cost is something which is very important for a business while delivering the value. If the value would be like, you're delivering any product, and if it is not priced correctly, then no one is going to buy your product. And that is what we need to worry about the ninth section, right, where we have costs. Now we'll put together our value proposition. We'll go through all of these segments, and then when we come to cost, we'll try to find out that, hey, for delivering this value proposition, how can I cut down costs, or where I can corner my expenses, so that the product is still feasible and affordable for the general customer segments that I am targeting in general. So while putting the value proposition together, right, you should not mostly focus on the costs at this point in time, and not restrict your thinking at this point in time, right? That can happen later at the ninth section or at the fifth section as well, where we are talking about revenues and costs and where money is involved. This is the point in time, this is just the first point, and this is where we just want to understand that, hey, how I can deliver value or how I can solve a customer's problem, not really much influenced by the cost here. Cool. If that answers your concern, then maybe I'll move forward the second segment.
Yeah, hello.
Hi.
Yeah, good afternoon, Tejas. I'm Naneshwari Zawade. I'm from
Mhm.
Department of Management Studies, and I teach MBA marketing subjects. So
Oh, great.
my question to you is, has value proposition changed in this post-COVID situation? Because the way businesses is done it is completely changed post-COVID situation. So has the value proposition it has also changed or not, or how it is
Yeah. So
changed?
value proposition. Mhm. Got it. Good. Thanks for the question, by the way. A very interesting question, rather. Right. So value propositions, for some businesses, definitely they have changed. I would say they have. It's very industry specific in general, right? Like say if we are talking about your normal retail industry, right? The way that industry used to function, that customers are walking in the stores and buying products, that did not really happen during the COVID period, and even post COVID, right? To a great extent, customers are used to a different environment altogether in the last 2 years, that they got more to a greater extent, they got introduced to your e-commerce platforms, or they got used to shopping online. So to some extent, when we're talking of the outlets, like say maybe we're talking about Reliance Fresh, or we're talking about Pantaloons, now even they are coming up with this kind of models, right, where they are building different channels altogether, like they're going the omni-channel route to a very great extent. If we talk of Geomart, for that instance, right, they have e-commerce present, as well as they have their stores as well, various Reliance stores across the cities. So you can choose whatever you want. And that was not the case with most of the brands before COVID, right? They were doing the business as usual, but all of this thing we got restricted to our houses, and then definitely the things changed for a few industries, and because of that, value propositions did change. But then like say, if you're talking of the traditional industries, right, something as simple as say maybe commodities, for that matter, your steel manufacturing or your cement manufacturing, for instance. So for them, things haven't changed that much, right? It's just they have done some cost restructuring, or the channels they were using, they have done some minor restructuring there, but not much had changed for them. So I would say, it is a bit industry specific. For some industries, it definitely had changed, and for some industries, it's again back to normal, their business as usual kind of a thing.
Okay, and I just wanted to ask you, because you work with Amazon, like how the value proposition has changed for the Amazon in the post-COVID situation.
Okay. So for talking of Amazon in general, right, the value proposition even before the pandemic was that, hey, we want to provide the customers with a very large selection of products, and we want to deliver those products right at their doorstep. And during the pandemic, as I mentioned earlier, this kind of customer behavior, it just got a huge kind of propulsion. It just expanded to a great extent. So now it was like, from delivering all of these things, Now, if you're having those many number of orders, right, it was just like a say 2x 3x kind of increase overnight. Then in the value proposition, another thing got added, which was like the speed at which we are delivering these products. Because at the end of the day, if your volume is increasing, then you want to make sure that, hey, your speeds are not getting derailed due to that. So for us, that extra thing kind of, it was already there, but the emphasis on that rather increased this pandemic kind of a situation, that hey, we want to deliver this thing, but again, speed is important. We don't want to deliver these things like 30 days down the line, but it has to be 4 days or 5 days. So those are the new metrics that we are tracking at Amazon, right? What is the customer to promise and what is the customer to delivery? That is our expected delivery date, right? So that just got added, and I don't really think if anything much had changed beyond that.
Okay. Thank you so much for your reply.
Yeah. So there's one more question. I want to start a business of wheat-based junk food. Can you explain what should I put in the business canvas for that business? Okay, so it's wheat-based junk food. All right. So see, Pooja, now in case of your business, right? I'm not sure that there are a lot of current businesses that are using wheat as a primary ingredient, maybe. And please correct me if I'm wrong, if that is the case, if they are using wheat as a primary ingredient. So in your case, from you to separate you from the competition, your value proposition would be something as simple as that, hey, there are other junk food brands and they're not providing you healthy food at the end of the day, but then here is our product, which is wheat based, and wheat, as you all know, is a healthy kind of a thing, or at least relatively healthy, and that's why you should buy from us, right? So you are providing something unique, something healthy to the broader customer segment who is consuming junk food currently, or then again the customers who are not currently buying junk food. To them also you can go and say that, hey, see, look, we have a new product which is a bit healthy as compared to the other junk food brands. Why don't you come and try it, and it just tastes the same? So that would be your value proposition in this case. Yeah, follow up on that. Please feel free to. Perfect. Now, moving on to the next segment, right? For business, this is the customer segments, right? Now we have defined what kind of value we are providing. Now, the second thing we want to know that, hey, what is the actual customer segment in the market who will be interested in buying these products? And this is something very crucial, right? Most of the times while channeling your marketing efforts, it becomes really crucial that you're channeling it towards the right set of customers. That say, if I am coming with a very funky or trendy kind of sneaker, that matter, right? Then maybe millennials is not the customer cohort that would be interested in, and hence it would make minimal sense for me to go after the millennial customer cohorts maybe on social media. But then Gen Z, or for that matter the customers who are 18 to 24 years old, they would be very much interested in buying such kind of a funky sneakers. So then I have then identified my customer segment correctly, and then I'll just go after that customer segment and target my products to them, so that there is a very high chance of those customers converting and buying your product in turn. In case of Zara, at a very uber level, right, they have 3 customer cohorts, and this you can see on their website as well. If you go to the experience, they will just have 3 tabs present on their website, that is men, women, and children. So in general, men is one cohort to which their fashion is targeted, women is another, children is third, and these are not, these are like mutually exclusive kind of a segment. If you go like on the website, then whatever fashion accessory that is there for women, it is very unlikely that the children aged 8 years would be buying that. And man and woman, as we of course know, are completely mutually exclusive sets. So these are 3 mutually exclusive segments they are targeting, right? And in their case, again, we have to add another layer of segmentation, then that would be those kind of a customers that want a very premium experience, and those customers that are ready to pay a premium charge for getting that premium experience. So this is this is as simple as how you can develop your customer segments. And again, this was Zara. If I have to talk about Amazon, Then in our case, customer segments are very diverse and the level of complexity. So this was, in this case, the level of complexity was on a very simplistic side of the spectrum. In case of Amazon, it is very difficult, or to the entirely other end of the spectrum, wherein we have a homepage, right? You go to Amazon app, you open a homepage, and whatever you are seeing, all different marketing campaigns, marketing communications you're seeing on that page need to be different customer cohort. We cannot use the same communication, say for a women coming to tier 2 city, and we the same communication women who is from, say, your tier 1 city. So that's why we have a plethora of different customer segments, and I'm actually very much involved in that, since I'm leading cohort based marketing for Amazon. So this is this is bread and butter for me. This is what I do for living, right? I develop different customer segments. I try to identify that what different customer segments are there and how we can provide value to them in a different way. So we just try to define various, like, say, customer segments. For us, there are some 4-5 broader parameters. First is your age of the customer. Then there would be gender of the customer. Then, like, say, the geography, from tier 1 city, tier 2 city, or some town or village area. Then there would be the income bracket that customer is coming from, right? So that we know what kind of products to target to that customer. So these are the general, these are the Uber level segmentation tactics that we use in general. And you can follow the same kind of tactics. There are some 5-6 general segmentations available, and you can go after that, and you can use different combinations of those so as to achieve at the right customer cohort that you want to target. So yeah, in case of Zara, this is how you will populate your customer segments. You have men, women, and children, since they are not hyper special. They are not going very hyper with customer segmentation per se. Talking of the next element would be your channel. Now we have identified what is the value, who are our customers. We need to find out that, hey, how I'm going to deliver this value to this particular customer cohort, and you have to identify your channels here. Now channels can be two types, right? There can be your physical channels, and there can be your digital channels. Pre-1990, if we have to think, and as I said, right, prior to Amazon coming into picture, say before 1998 for USA geography, there were retail outlets. There were physical channels only, right? You had to go to the physical outlet and buy a product. But now there are digital channels as well. You can go on Amazon. You can even interact with the influencers on Instagram and buy the products right then and there. So those are the digital channels of communication, right? And there are two ways these channels work. First is the way you're using this channel to deliver your products to the customers, and the second channel would be the way your customers are coming back to you, right? Your customers might have some concerns that they want to communicate with you, so you need to define those channels as well, that, hey, how my customers can come back to me and tell me whatever problem they are facing in general. In case of Zara, they have direct stores, right? Physical stores are there. Then they have an online e-commerce kind of a presence, and then there's a social media presence, right? Now this is very important. Now, if they're having so many different designs and their catalog is continuously refreshing, how do they tell their customers that, hey, we have new collection available in our stores or on our e-com platform? So this is where they make extensive use of social media, and it is used both ways, that they want to tell the customers that whatever new products they have, and again customers leverage social media to tell Zara whatever problems they are facing. And Zara is very proactive to listen to their customer, whatever the customers are commenting on their products or on their various social media platforms, right? Zara executives will go there, will go through all the comments, and they have a special system wherein whatever bad experience a customer is having or whatever suggestion the customer is having, it will be directed to the right members from their team, so that they can work on that. So this is how channels work for Zara. And again, for channels, this is how you just put whatever channels you have, just put it here. Like, say, for that matter, if you are a taking a very traditional example, say if you're an automotive company, right, then the channel of sales for you would be your simple dealerships, right, which you will sell your products. And online is definitely not an option. Social media would still be relevant, because many of the traditional brands are again coming to the social media and following something that Zara is doing, right? That they are trying to listen to their customer problems very proactively. Customers are tweeting about some problem, then the company customer service would be very prominent to listen to that and interact with the customer right then and there. So again, this is how your channels would in general differ. Now, next thing would be your customer relationships. As I mentioned at the very beginning, Customer relationships is like say you want to make your brand sustainable, right? So you want to build good customer relationships so that the customers are coming back and purchasing from you. And it's something as simple as what kind of a relations and with who do your customers have with the brand, like it's simply a harmony between the customer and the brand in general. In case of Zara, it will be again very simple. The customer relationship they'll be having is again multifaceted. It is the time you go to the store, there are salespeople there, they will interact with you, and whatever impression you have of this salespeople, right? At the end of the day, it reflects on the brand. If that guy is behaving in a very good way with you, then you will have a very premium feel, and then you will correlate that with the brand, and that kind of perception will be built in your mind for that brand. Then the social media channels is again one, as I mentioned, that it goes a two-way, right? The customers can communicate with them, and if a customer is communicating something, the brand is taking good care of whatever suggestions they're providing, you'll definitely feel good about that brand. Hey, they are listening to my problems and they're solving that. So you will want to make more transactions with that brand, right? And then there is again some sentiment attached to your clothing accessories. If they are good, you will have a good perception. So customer relationships, right? If we have to look, then again there is a kind of a say a line, and the two extremes of these lines will be, first is a very transactional kind of a customer relationship, the one you would have with Amazon, right? You go on the platform, you select whatever you want yourself, you purchase that product, you come out. There is no interaction at all. And even if you have some problem, then there will be some chatbot at the end, or if chatbot is not able to solve that problem, then there will be some customer service associate who is sitting at a faraway location, listens to a problem, solves a problem. That's all very transactional, right? No human touch at all. Whereas if you talk of this retail stores, or say for Zara that matter, then there will be salespeople who will be continuously guiding you throughout that process, taking you throughout the store, showing different products that you have, and suggesting you what you can buy, what you cannot buy. So that is a very non-transactional kind of relationship on the very other extreme of the scale, right? So this is how the customer relationships can be, and it's perfectly fine on whatever scale you are, basis your industry or basis whatever business problem you're solving, right? In Amazon's case, it makes sense to have a very transactional kind of a relationship, while in Zara's case, it makes sense to have a very kind of a touch-based kind of customer relationship. So this is your customer relationship, right? In general. And then now to sum it up, these three broad groups, right? Your customer segments, customer relationships, and channels, they'll ultimately impact your revenue streams. Now let's just see how it impacts the revenue streams, right? And again with Zara, the single revenue stream, right? For any fashion retail, we can think is, at the end of the day, आप कपड़ा बेच रहे हो, right? You will sell the cloth, customer will buy it, and they will pay you. So it's just a direct sales that is happening either or in the online store as well. That's their only revenue stream, right? They are selling clothes and you're paying them. That's the only thing. So in Zara's case, that's the only channel. But then revenue streams can be, the broader topic in general, right? There are lots and lots of revenue streams. So I just, try to put together some of the broader revenue models that can be there, right? That brands are using to just, realize the benefits of whatever value they are delivering. And the first one is advertising, and this is a kind of outcome of the digital age that we are living in. And the classic example for this would be Google, right? On Google, the product that they're offering is they are a search engine. You have a problem, you type your whatever query you are having, and they'll provide for that. Yeah, charging anything for that, but with their salaries, their infrastructure to maintain. So how do they earn money, right? At the end of the day, so they sell these ads on the platform, right? You go to Google and you put up anything, like say I want to buy a laptop. I go to Google and I'll put in like, hey, show me best laptops under say 90,000 for that matter. And then the first 2-3 search results that come up, right? They have this ad tag, right? Besides. And that is when these advertisers are paying Google that, hey, you have customers that are searching for products. We want our products to be visible for those customers. Why don't we pay you some money and you, just increase the visibility of our products on your platform. So this is how Google makes money, right? Again, this is how YouTube makes money for that matter. They have those ads. And then going ahead, there is a premium kind of model. So here you get the product for free at the beginning, and then the brand encourages you to go for to pay a premium, right? And say Amazon could be a classic example for this. You're using Amazon to search through lots and lots of retail products. You're buying those products, all of that. But then if you're doing that for some time, then Amazon will, slowly and slowly try to push you towards the Prime membership. That, hey, you're using our service for free. Why don't you pay a premium on this, and we will provide you even a better service. And this is premium model in general, right? Then there is a markup model. Markup is something, it is also called as cost plus in some instances. And a fashion industry can be, or a retail industry could be one good example of that. Like say some brands like Zara, for that matter, again, they are buying a product from their providers, service, or from their suppliers. They are having their infrastructure in place, so they will add some premium to that, they'll add some value to that. They bought it at a price of X rupees, they will sell it at a price of X plus something something, because they are adding more value in between, right? So that is your markup model. Then there is a subscription model. So here Netflix could be a good example, or your Apple Music could be a good example. Here it's just that you have lots of services and you want the customers to keep on paying you after a particular instance of time, so that they keep on availing those services. This is a subscription model, right? And yeah, and the last one is your commission model, right? So this can be the case of, say, an insurance provider. Say you have Aditya Birla Group, for that matter. Now Aditya Birla Group cannot put their salesman in every single geography, right? At some geographies it doesn't make sense for them to put their salespeople, because there are many will search for some local agency. They will tell them that, hey man, why don't you go and sell our products to the customer that are there from your geography, and on every sale that you make, we'll pay you some kind of every single sales. This is how, these are the, I mean, there are of course a lot of other revenue models as well, but these are the dominant ones that are there in the industry, and you would see many of the companies using this one. Now, was on the right side, right? And again, I'll pause for a brief moment if you folks have any questions or concerns in general till now. Right. Then I'll move ahead and I'll move to the left side of the business canvas, right? Sorry. So on the left side, right, the first thing we talked about was the key resource element. Now you're providing the value, but value provide करने के लिए you need some resources in place, right? आपको कोई business setup करना है, something as simple as कपड़ा बेचना है market में जाके. For that, पैसा तो लगेगा to at least manufacture that, then to set up an infrastructure through which you can sell. You have to pay salaries and all of that. उसके लिए you will need key resources. And again, limiting to this particular case study we are talking about, in this case of Zara, it would be the stock. That would be their key resource, right? It is all the goods they are manufacturing and the accessories they are manufacturing is their key resource. Second is their large network of stores. So this large network is enabling them to sell the products to the right set of customers. And then there is a strong brand value, right? Brand value is an intangible kind of a resource a company would be having. I mean, it is not something that you can put a price tag to that brand value. But it is there it is the perception of the brand in the minds of the customers that will ultimately bring the customers to purchase more from you. And in their case, again, logistics and supply chain infrastructure would be very crucial and a key resource for them, because at the end of the day, if every 15 to 20 or 25 days you are changing your entire stock, then you need a very robust supply chain infrastructure in place, so that you are able to deliver stock to all the retail outlets you are having across the office. So having a very strong supply chain infrastructure becomes very crucial. So to sum it up, this would be the three key resources for them, right? First, they'll need stock, everything related to that. Then there is a infrastructure to sell that, and then there is logistics and supply chain as an intermediary between these two, to move the stock between different places. And this is your resources column will be moving on to the activities, right? So key resources are complete, then there are some key activities that you will do to deliver this value to the customer, right? So in Zara's case, it would be, first thing is that now what was the value proposition? It was like we are providing very newest kind of a trends to you, and for that they will have to continuously keep on designing these new trends. So first would be the design. They have to consistently keep working on that. Then once you design the products, you will have to manufacture that. So you do that. That again becomes your another key activity. Then third key activity for them would be the retail processes, right? Something as simple as point of sale and third party management. So here, all the clothes that Zara manufactures, they are not like they are not they don't to a very great extent own these manufacturing units by themselves, right? These are outsourced to third parties. So managing those third parties again becomes their key activity. Now, this is something that we'll discuss in the key partnership, kind of box as well. But here again, it becomes important. And why? Because for Zara, since they are relying on a third party, it becomes very crucial for them to have a good, kind of a management in place to work with those guys. Have systems and processes in place so that you make sure that your payments are going out on place, you're receiving the right set of products at the right time required, and hence it becomes a key activity as well for them to maintain that partnership. Then there would be distribution channels and logistics. Since they are having multiple distribution channels, it is a key activity, and doing the logistics in between becomes a key activity as well. So this is how you can fill up the activities column here in case of Zara. And again, here, like say for instance, if I have to talk about Amazon again, in terms of your key resources and key activities, then key resources for Amazon would be whatever infrastructure they have built. And by infrastructure, there could be two different sets of infrastructure here. First is a very strong supply chain, right? It is one of the best supply chain out there in the world, along with Walmart and Unilevers of the world, right? So the supply chain infrastructure in terms of your logistics units and your warehouse network becomes a very important key resource to deliver these products to customers. And second key resource would be the digital ecosystem they have built, the app they have built, or other products they are offering. Say Prime Video is there, Amazon Music is there, or your Amazon Pay is there, right? So this is the general ecosystem that they have built, is a key resource for them, right, through which they are delivering this value. And with these key resources, the activities that they would be performing is maintaining their logistic units, right? Setting up some processes in place so that the goods are moving from one place to another at a very timely cadence, and that becomes a key activity. Another key activity would be, marketing would be a very huge activity for them, right? So that the customers won't be discovering Amazon by their own, but hey, we want to tell the customers that we have this new, kind of way. They are providing, say, X number of services. Why don't you come and try that? So again, marketing channel becomes a key activity for Amazon. You must be seeing that with these e-com players, right? Not just Amazon for that matter. You have Flipkart, you have Meesho. Now we have Meesho to a great extent. All of these, players, they are advertising like crazy. It's just everywhere you go, they are right in your face. So they are just telling you that, hey, we are there, and whatever products you need, just give it a try. So that again becomes a key activity for them. But of course, the supply chain and the logistics part of it remains the primary kind of activity, or primary, since that is the primary unique proposition that they are trying to solve for. And then between all of that, when you're doing this business, right, you cannot do it alone. सब कुछ तो आप नहीं कर सकते एक साथ, right? You will need other players there who can support you. And to do that, you will need, like, say, suppliers. Now, you cannot own the supply chain end to end, right, from the raw material preparation to delivery, right? You will have key partners depending on where you sit in the supply chain, right? If you're sitting at the very starting of the supply chain, which is, say, your raw material producer, right? In that case, your partners would be whoever is buying that raw material from you, your whoever you're selling that to. If you're sitting somewhere in the middle of the supply chain, then you will have two types of partnerships. First, you have suppliers who are supplying the products, and then you have some third-party players who are, buying that products from you. And then if you are sitting at the very extreme end, which is like, say, your retail, if you're an owner of a retail outlet, then suppliers would be your primary key partners in this case. Now, this was from the supply chain point of view, right? This is like a very, kind of the business at its basics kind of a thing, that is just, we're talking of supply chain. But then in this digital age, there can be other partners as well, right? you would have, say maybe, a digital partner. You want to build an app for whatever you're providing. So app provider would be your key partner. Whoever is, renting out those servers would be your key partner. And all those engineers sitting behind and creating that thing would be your key partners. And that is how your key partnerships look like, right? And at its very basic, this is just, mutual relationships you form. And it is not something a very high level. When we think of partnerships, then the things that come to our mind is like, say maybe mergers and acquisitions, diversifications, or you're forming joint ventures and stuff like that. But when you're starting a business, or having a small business in place, then that are not the kind of partnerships you right at the start look at, right? These are the small kind of partnerships that actually make your business meaningful. And then once you have a very solid business in place, then the partnerships will change. Then you will have all these forming these joint ventures with different units and all of that. So this is how key partners come into place. And for Zara, it's the providers of the raw material for them, and of course the holding company, right? Now they are a subsidiary of this parent company, which is Inditex. And you definitely want to have very good partnership with your parent company, basically because you are sharing your balance sheet with them. You're having consolidated balance sheet. So they are the ones who are deciding that what kinds of funds you will be getting to do whatever activities you have planned. So again, that becomes a key partnership in case of Zara that they want to maintain in the longer run. And this is how your key partnership comes into place. I can see something on the chat box. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So moving on to the last part, right, of the cost. Now, customer को product customers identify कर लिए, value proposition set up किया, उनको product बेच दिया, तो realized your income out of that. But then while doing all of this, you must have incurred large number of costs, right? different elements to it. So now we need to identify that, hey, what are the different costs that I'm incurring while doing all of this? And again, taking the same example of Zara, now here it is a very, at a very Uber level. So the most important costs for a business would be two different types of costs, right, that you can incur. First would be your fixed costs, and then there are variable costs. So fixed cost is something as simple as, say I'm manufacturing shoes, right? Shoes manufacture karne ke liye, I just rent out some property, right? That I just rent out some big company, I buy some machines for that. Then that is a fixed cost, right? It doesn't matter how many shoes I'm manufacturing, or even if I'm manufacturing or not. मैंने अगर rent कर लिया एक बार, at the end of the month, I have to pay that rent to that customer, to whoever is providing that property to me. Right, I have bought the machines एक बार purchase कर लिए, I have to pay upfront all the cost, or like maybe say you're taking some loans on that, whatever, right? But that is a fixed cost you're incurring, right? That is sitting right there and it's not going anywhere, no matter whether you're producing something or you're not producing something. So those are your fixed costs. Again, like say you hired some employees, then they would be on your payroll, and then paying them would be a mandatory thing for you at the end of every month. That would be again a fixed cost for you. And then there are variable costs. So, to just explain that better, let me just go to the next slide, where we have a distinct, clear distinction between your fixed cost and the variable costs. So fixed costs, as I mentioned, right? So these are the costs that must be paid regardless of how much you sell. You have property, you have to pay for that. Doesn't matter how much you're producing, how much you're selling, you have to just pay for that, right? And then there are variable costs. Variable cost would be something like, say, it depends on how much you're producing and how much you're selling in the market. If I'm not producing anything at all, then I don't need to worry about delivery or shipping charges. But I just start producing. If I produce just one unit, then say to ship that one unit, I'll need 100. I'll maybe need to pay 100 units to say FedEx or your Blue Dart. And if that number keeps on increasing, that whatever you're delivering, right, this cost will keep on increasing. The more products you're selling, the more products you're delivering out there, the costs will keep on increasing. Again, the sales commission is one thing, right? More the customers, the more your salespeople are selling, the more you will have to pay in commissions. Then again, advertising and publicity would be one variable cost. It would again depend on at what stage of sales you are. Like say, if you are a very new company, then you would want to spend some amount on advertising. If you have at least if you have some VC sitting there with some deep pockets, then you would want to go and advertise as much as possible. And the classic example would be Swiggy and Zomatos of the world, right? The moment they came into the market, we were not aware that, hey, Swiggy is doing this kind of a service. So they spend heavily on the marketing. They just make you aware that, hey, we are here and we are doing this kind of a service. Why don't you give a try? So then their advertising differs. And then as your brand becomes, say, more prominent than something like Zara for that matter, then advertising and publicity, you would maybe start reducing those costs, because Zara is like, all of their advertising happens through word of mouth kind of publicity, and they are not spending significant bucks on marketing or doing any advertising as such. So these are your variable costs, right? These differ from at what uh, stage of business you are, or how much you're producing, and they keep on varying basis that there is nothing fixed about them. So these are the two general costs that a business incurs, right? You will have your fixed cost and you will have your variable costs. So this in general sums up the cost part of it, right? So these are the different kind of costs that you need to be aware of, and these are just a sample of it, just to help you folks understand what are the different costs to look at. There are tons and tons of other small elements, right? If you'll go and if you'll analyze, say, profit and loss account of any company, if you'll go and if you'll analyze the balance sheet of a company, you will discover lots and lots of different costs, and they vary from business to business as well. So this is one thing. This is the cost, right? So once you put together all of these things, then your business model is complete. Right. And here I have a business model canvas for Netflix. So we'll just talk about it as well, since it's a very interesting kind of industry to look after, and it varies to a great extent from Zara, which we have been talking a lot about. Sorry. Right. Till then, before I move to this particular section, if there are any questions, if I missed anything by any chance. Okay, yeah, I had some question. So exciting when you get one-day delivery through Amazon. Can you explain how Amazon manages to deliver a product in one day? Oh, great. This is close to my heart. Right. So, here there is a lot of planning and a lot of analytics that goes on in the backend. Now, say, I'll take my case. I'm sitting here in Nashik for that matter, right? And the nearest warehouse or fulfillment center to Nashik is Bhiwandi. As you know, most of you, those who are from Nashik, might be aware that your products, your product comes to Nashik through that Bhiwandi route, right? And what Amazon does is they have these huge fulfillment networks, right? Centers, right? Where they are storing the products. Now, if say I, run some analytics, data analytics in the background, and I find that, hey, during the month of March, the demand for, say, air conditioners, increases to say X6% from this geography, like say Bhiwandi is, say, for that matter, supplying to clusters like Nashik, Ahmednagar, and Mumbai. Then these are the three clusters I'm talking about, and I see that, hey, during the month of March, the demand spikes from these clusters for air conditioners, and these are the different products for which the demand is spiking. And then what I'll do is, I know that demand aane wali hai, right? Once come March, demand will be there, and I know how much increase I'm expecting. So what I'll do is I work with the seller, right? And I'll stock that product in advance, so that I'll tell the seller, hey, demand is going to come. Why don't you, stock this product of yours in our warehouse or in our fulfillment center at Bhiwandi, so that it will be easier for us to deliver to the customer. And again, if there is a one-day delivery, then customer would be more than happy to buy from Amazon, right? Rather than maybe say going to a retail store. So that's how, through the help of data analytics, of course, and by the virtue of having this large infrastructure in place, we're able to deliver in one day. And of course, there are lots of complexities involved. There are ML models at place, and there are some, intelligent forecasting models like your Arima and, your Holds model. All of those things are in place, which we use for forecasting, which the data scientists use for forecasting. And as a culmination of all of that, we can deliver that product in one day. Hope that answered your question. Okay, cool. Now just, quickly, I just talk about this one particular case of Netflix. Here, again, if we have to start from the very first thing, right, the value proposition. Now, the time Netflix came into market, right, we used to have these CDs and DVDs, right? We used to go out and we used to purchase those to watch some movie, on our DVD player and stuff like that. But then Netflix discovered this opportunity that, hey, internet is booming. So this CD and DVD business is not going to be there for a very long period of time. And since internet is there, people will have these personal devices in which they can consume this media. Why don't we create a platform which provides on-demand video to the customer, so that on our servers will have everything, we'll have a very huge selection, customer can choose anything they want, and just at the convenience of sitting in their homes and just scrolling through their laptops or internet connected devices for that matter, right? So that was their value proposition at first, that hey, we are just going to provide this to the customers, and later on they added to it, they added the original content as well. Now you see that Netflix produces lots and lots of web series and movies as well, right? So this is again their value proposition. They're providing some top class original content, and they're doing it at a very competitive price point, right? Not many of us mind paying, say, 300 rupees a month for Netflix subscription to consume the content they are providing, rather than going out in the market. And then back in time, I remember we used to purchase like one DVD for what, some 25-50 rupees, and that too used to be pirated copies, right? If you're going out and buying a Blu-ray copy, then that costs you hundreds of bucks. So Netflix definitely becomes a very value for money, right, for me. And that is their value proposition in general. And once they have the value proposition in place, they wanted to identify who are my customer segments. And in their case, the customer segment is the mass market in general, right? Anyone who has an internet connected devices can consume their content. So it becomes a very mass market kind of a thing. So they have the customer segment sorted as well, that internet connected device owners, yeah, that's my market. And what are the channels through which I'll be website? Then they have their own app. This is a completely digital kind of a channel, right? And then there are another interesting channel in this case is the affiliate partners. Affiliate partners say, you have a Airtel ka SIM, you go to Airtel and you recharge your mobile number, right? Along with that recharge, Airtel says that, hey, you just pay 50 rupees extra and get this Netflix subscription for a month. So both Airtel as well as Netflix are benefiting out of that, and hence Netflix engages with this kind of affiliate partners to promote their product apart from their website and app store, of course. Right? So these are the channels that they are using. And again, social media would be very important in almost every case nowadays, right? Because every business has a social media handle, and they're interacting with customers over that. Then the kind of customer relationships, again, in case of Netflix, as I said, that there are two spectrums there. The left one was the very transactional kind of a relationship. So Netflix has this very transactional relationship that you would want to have, right? You just, you go on the platform, you watch whatever you want, there is no contact as such. And the way they are realizing the revenue through that is through a subscription model, that they're having tons and tons of content, and then you just pay a subscription fee for every month, and you purchase that, you go through that. So that is their kind of a sole source of income. Very great. I mean, a major income chunk at least, right, for Netflix. Then what are the key resources they're having? They have the streaming rights, right? Now, not all the content they have on their platform is their original content. Must it's like someone is, say, coming from Pixar Studios for that matter, or some of that is coming from, say, MGM for that matter. Then they have to acquire the streaming rights for that content. That is one. That is a key resource, that they have got that rights. Then you need internet bandwidth, that they need to maintain the servers and all of those things to stream that content or make that content available for their customers. Then there is a recommendation algorithm, which is a very important and a distinct resource that Netflix has, right? Now they want to engage their customers in better and better ways, right? So what better way of doing that than analyzing customer behavior and checking that, hey, if a customer watches this video, then they are very likely to watch a video from the same genre, or say some XX genre. And then Netflix will take that into account and build a recommendation algorithm which will make the customers more hooked to their platform. And then the content library at the end of the day is, of course, there. Then the key activities they'll be doing is, the regular personnel they are hiring. The key activities they'll be doing is content procurement is one. Whatever new content is available, they want that to be on the platform. So content procurement is there. Then they have all the engineers and data scientists and all of those guys sitting who are developing the application and making it better and better every day. And then there is third-party licensing, right? So these are kind of the top key activities that Netflix will be performing. And the key partners for them will be internet service providers, of course, right? As I talked about Airtel, there will be all other internet service providers, and not just these mobile service providers, right? Others as well, like, say, your maybe the Wi-Fi service providers for that matter would be their key partners while doing all of that. And the third party studios, because they have to procure the content from them. So those would be the key partners. And the costs that they will be incurring is whatever production they are doing in-house, or whatever in-house studio they are having. It will consume a large portion of their money, right? Third party licensing doesn't come free of cost. You have to pay those channels and while licensing. And then the streaming application, right? For the entire application that you have built, you need staff, you need to maintain your servers and all of that stuff. You need to continuously need merchandisers to merchandise the show on the app, right? So all of this stuff and everything will be another huge cost for them. So this is how the business model for Netflix looks like in general. And this is, as you can see, is distinctly different from what we saw as that of Zara's, right? In case of Zara's, it was mostly like a physical kind of a thing, a physical outlet kind of a thing, or an e-commerce touch, right? And it was a very traditional kind of an industry, which was fashion and retail. But in this case, it's a very digital product, right? This all the content that is available, it is in a digital form. So every single thing changes, right? Right from the type of revenues you are getting. There we were getting direct sales. Here we have subscription kind of a model. The key partners in those cases were very different. They were traditional suppliers and your parent company, but Netflix does not have parent company. So that's why they have this. They don't need to maintain any relations with the parent company, right? So this changes very distinctly as you're moving across industries as well. So this was the second business model canvas that I wanted to talk about, and from a completely unrelated kind of industry. Now, going ahead, here is another one from Uber, right? But for the time's sake, I'll maybe avoid going through that, and at the end of the session, I'll share this PPT deck with maybe Bharath or Panchbhai sir, right? And they can maybe forward it to you guys if you want to go through that. But Uber, to a very great extent, it is like sitting somewhere in between your Netflix and Zara, right? Because there is a little bit of touch element, right? Rather, though Uber is not directly touch basing with their customers, it is the drivers that they are having, right? Who are touch basing with the customers. So they are not very transactional, but rather somewhere sitting in between, right? So that kind of things vary a bit. And again, here the value proposition they have is widely different. And the customer cohorts, right? The first two cases we saw, that of Zara, it was very simple: men, women, children, khatam. For Netflix, it was everyone under the sun who has a internet-based device. But here they have different value propositions, and the customer cohorts are very different. Here it would be someone who is like who does not own a car. That is one customer cohort. Someone who owns a car, but traffic here, I don't want to take out my own car. That is one reason. Someone who is like say a specially abled person who cannot drive a car, that can be another person. Then there could be someone who is like say, hey, I own a car, but it is a low end, and for today, for this particular, say I'm going on a business trip, then I want a very premium car for that matter. Then those are the kind of different customer cohorts Uber will be targeting to, and hence in their case again it becomes very complex, right? And again the channels generally would remain the more or less the same. Yeah, again they are an app based kind of company. Key partners would be drivers, technology partners, of course, to maintain the app, all of that, and investors and VCs, right? In terms of startups, it becomes really crucial that investors and you have very good relations with your investors and partners, and hence they become a very important kind of intermediary. Customer relationship, again, it's the same thing. It's the app, so customer relationship will be highly automated, of course. And then if you have to talk about the cost structure, then various cost elements, your salary employees, driver payments, technology development, all of that. Revenue would be like commissions per ride. Now you're giving a ride, you're paying 60 rupees of that. Some part of that that goes to Uber as a commission, right? So this is a commission kind of model we're looking at. Then there is surge pricing. बहुत ज़्यादा demand है, limited number of taxis are available. 160 का 260 हो जाएगा, and that goes to their surge pricing. Then they have premium rides available. If you cancel a ride, then that money goes down the drain. You cannot. There's cancellation fee, and all of those things come in place. So yeah, I'll share this deck, and you can maybe if you want to have a better look at Uber business canvas, you can go here and look at. And then again, I have this blank canvas available here. Like say if you want some template and you want to build something of your own, you have your own business idea, and you just want to put it on a paper and see how it looks like, so that you can communicate to your friends or other important stakeholders, then something to just get you started, right? And one very interested thing, right? Just like say, just to apply whatever learnings you have, business model canvas, it can be applied to every single business, right? So it would be, you can apply it to maybe like say, KK Institute as well in general, because they are providing a value. They have a particular customer segment they are serving. They have customer relationships. They have channels, like so they have this infrastructure in place. Students are coming into the college premise and learning there, so they have that physical kind of a channel. And during COVID, they had a digital channel as well, that you could learn right from your home through this video conferencing kind of systems. Then there are key activities, resources, of course. They have key partnerships with the transport services. You have canteen in your college, and then you have benches and all of that. So someone must be providing that, right? So that particular organization would be a key partner for KK Institute. Again, they are recurring some costs, your staff payments, maintaining your day-to-day infrastructure, and all of that would be a huge cost to them. Revenue stream, of course, would be the admission fees that the institute is collecting from the students. And the unique value proposition would be providing affordable education to mass of students, right? And from different geographies. You can come from anywhere. You can stay in the campus, and you can get access to a affordable and premium kind of engineering education, right, in Nasik itself. So that would be a value proposition, right? So you can put together a business model for something as simple as an educational institute as well. It need not be a very complex kind of a business entity, right? Cool. So that was it from my end, right? Was in general various elements of it, and if you want to build something of your own, then how you can get started and how you can put together a few things around, and then just maybe get started with whatever business you're having. And just keep in mind that whenever you have any business idea in general, rather than just going and discussing it in a very haphazard manner, it's always good to put it on a piece of paper and have a very structured approach to it, so that you understand that hey, I have this business idea, but then at the end of the day, you understand that yeah, business idea to hai, but customer ही नहीं है इसके लिए. बेचूंगा किसे, right? I don't have the right price. I don't have the right product. So it just helps when you put together a business model, right? Then it just helps to understand this. It helps you to get rather a 360 view of the business in general, right? That how you're going to approach different elements in this particular business. Yeah, so that was it from my end. I would very much appreciate to answer or hear from you on any questions that you have, or any clarifications that you seek on this particular topic, or it could be anything in general as well.
Hello, Tejas.
Yes, sir.
We have two industries, service industry, and another is making some product. So
Right.
in which case this model is more effective, for service or for some product making industry?
Okay. So it would be beneficial for both the industries, but when you're talking of product-based industry, right, then in general, in that case, we know whatever product we are producing, it is a kind of a tangible thing that we are putting in the market, and hence we have a better clarity around it. Ki if I'm manufacturing something, then at least I have a better understanding ki customer kaun hai, or who I want to partner with, who are my suppliers are. So we have that basic kind of understanding at least there. But when we're talking of a service-based industry, right, then it's intangible to a very great extent. It's very difficult for us to generalize ki actual value add kahan pe ho raha hai. Who are my customers in a service-based kind of a industry. So though I would say that it is applicable in both product and service to a similar extent, but in case of a product, if you put together something like that, then it can just help you get a better clarity that you in most of the cases already have for product-based industry, right?
Can you quantify the that enhancement due to this model in any business?
So to quantify, right, rather than got it. So to quantify, so this is something that we do day in and day out, right? So like say, To be very honest, right now I don't have an example which I can quote and say that, hey, this is a particular organization which implemented a business model canvas and their business grew multifold or something like that. But rather, as I mentioned right at the beginning, right, there are three aspects to it. Rather, first is you are having a business idea and you just want to communicate that to your stakeholders. Then this is when it would come handy. Again, you want to evolve your business to a new horizons, right? You have some new product, you want to develop some new complementary products. This is where you can put it in place. And again, say if you want to give a better structure to your business, it is now, all over the place. You don't know what is happening, what is going on. Your costs are increasing, your customers are not liking the product and stuff like that. You can again go back to the drawing board and build something like this, so that it just gives you a 360 view of what is happening in your business, and if there is something breaking, then where it is breaking and what you can do to fix that in particular. But to quantify, I mean, I'm not really sure of any particular example which really quantifies what kind of impact a business had due to just by simply putting together a business model canvas, right?
One inquiry from Pooja.
Yeah.
I have so much
Yes.
interest in marketing domain. I need to guidance related to that. How should I connect with you?
Yeah, hi. So Pooja, you can probably connect with me on LinkedIn. You can just search for my name, Tejas Ahire, and marketing manager, Amazon. You can connect with me, and definitely we can have a talk about it. If you have a larger interest in marketing domain, then how you can go about that and how you can pursue their interest. And if and I assume if you are from engineering, then maybe you would want to understand something on the MBA front, that how you can go into marketing, MBA marketing, and happy to help on that front as well. Okay, so there is one more question, which is how to fix price of a particular product. Okay, so by fixed price, I mean that I'll take it as a very general case. Like say you produce something in the market, say a smartphone for that matter, right? You are a smartphone manufacturer and you had a very unique idea. You had some new technology in place. You manufactured something out of that, and say you're putting it a price tag of say maybe 1,50,000 rupees for that new technology that you have developed. You go into the market, you discover that hey, customers are not really buying this product because maybe there is something wrong with the price, right? And once you discover that kind of a thing, then to fix that price, right, you will need to understand that what are the costs that you are incurring to produce that particular product, right? Smartphone in our case. And you will definitely get a lots and lots of different cost elements associated with it. You will have your your fixed and variable cost of code and different elements under it, and then there you can find out that what is a particular element which is draining the maximum of my costs, or which is adding large costs to my products, which is not maybe say relevant to the customer. So you have 10 different features, but through market research you find out that hey, not all these 10 features are essential for my customers, only 5 are required. Then it makes very little sense for us to put those additional 5 at a premium, right? So in that case, say you can go with multiple models. You have one model which has say only 5 features, but you price it correctly, right? You price it in the exact range where the customer is likely to buy that product, and you're just cutting down your cost, right? At the end of the day, and to cut down costs, you have to sacrifice on few things to some extent, or at least you have to build efficiencies in one part, or you have to cut down on some features. And unless and until, I mean, building economies of scale is a whole different game altogether, right? For that, you need to manufacture in a very large extent, so that those economies of scale. But before that, if you should start up and if you want to cut costs, then this is something you can do. And try to analyze exactly customer wants, and how I can just that, and how I can cut different costs, where I can cut those costs, right? So this is something maybe you can do to fix the price of a particular product. This is something, rather than figuring out after going in the industry that, hey, customers are not buying my products, it's always advisable that before producing something, right, you try to understand the customer profile in a better extent. And as I just at the start of the session, as I quoted Red, right, him saying that most of the companies, they focus so much on their product and their design that they forget who the customer is and what kind of a value we are adding in the customer's life. So if you're doing that at a very early stage of designing your product, then it is very much likely that you will go in the market with the exact price that the customer is likely to pay buy your product at. I hope that answers your question, or let me know if there was some other angle to it, or if I misinterpreted the question. Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, hello. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah. Hi, Naneshwari here again. I have
Mhm.
two questions related to Amazon. My
Okay.
first question is about Amazon Go, right? Amazon
Mhm.
Go stores, which are quite popular in America, in US,
Mhm.
and will same model or the same stores will be successful in India?
Okay. Right. So Amazon Go, if you're talking of US in particular, right, then they are there to some extent. It makes sense for Amazon to have two kind of market presence, right? First is they already have e-commerce kind of a presence, but then say a customer is going from his office to his home, and on the way they find some kind of a grocery store. So it would make a little bit sense for them that while going on my way there falls a grocery store, but I just don't go into that and buy whatever I want. I can access the quality of the product right then and there. And for in case of Amazon Go, whatever they are serving, right, it is grocery, fruits, vegetables kind of a thing. Fruits, vegetables, it makes sense to go in person and then check the quality, access the quality, and then get that product. So in that case they have an omni-channel kind of a presence, right? That you have a e-commerce, you have a Amazon Go store, and they are talking to each other, right? So there they have built that kind of a model. And for Amazon in particular, whatever happens now, this is not the very great thing to do, but whatever happens, all I know the world is US backwards. They'll have some new concept, they'll implement it first in the US, and if it is successful in the US, then they will expand it to other geographies. So it is very likely that that kind of a infrastructure would come into India. And there is already work going on that front right now. There are two things Amazon is working on. First is building Amazon kiosk, right? So we have various kiosks, right, from this uh, soft drinks brands, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or like say if you go to CCD, we may see a kiosk there serving their products. So Amazon wants to put those kind of a kiosks at various institutions in general, right? You might see this kind of a kiosk coming up on metro stations or in your colleges or in your organizations as well, right? So that is one way we are looking at it. And the other one is definitely, it is it's still in kind of a strategy phase. We want to figure out that in India geography, how we can implement that kind of a solution which is out there in US and going well, right? So it's still we're trying to figure out various nuances, right from your legal nuances to your figuring out what the customers really like here, and what kind of a balance between different models would be successful here. And if you want to build a kind of a omni-channel system or setup here in India, then how we want to go about it in general, how we want to restructure our app for that, to support that kind of infrastructure.
All
So
right,
yeah,
but
it's still in strategy, but it is very likely that we might see it coming up very soon. Though I'm not very certain. Yeah.
okay, yeah, but there is a little bit a difference of the consumer perception in the Indian consumer and the any European country consumer.
Yes.
That
Yes.
whenever we have to order anything related to grocery, we still prefer our corner वरचा किराणा मालाचं दुकान, right?
Exactly.
Which
Exactly.
is, yeah. So is Amazon they are trying to change something, because even the e-commerce thing, like whatever we are ordering,
Hmm.
be it FMCG or apparels, even that was completely new in Indian market. Is
Exactly.
Amazon are gonna thinking about these factors, these consumer perception, are they
Hmm.
thinking about to change this perception about the Indian consumer?
Uh, to some extent, yes. We are trying to change the perception that the Indian consumers in general have, right? If you go back, say even 7-8 years back, right, 2013, when these e-commerce players really started becoming prominent in India, by that time customers used to have this hesitation to even go on these platforms and buy something as simple as say flip-flops, which just barely cost 300-400 rupees at times, right? Customers used to be very worried about that hey, uh, and customers are still worried about paying through credit cards and debit cards, right? The
Right, right.
70% of the
That's why
customers are
we are more of a cash on delivery people, right?
exactly, yeah. because more than 70-80% of the purchases are cash on delivery for most of the e-commerce players, is what I understand, right? And
Right.
we are slowly trying to build that kind of a customer perception that, hey, this is easy. And last year we just ran this marketing campaign which said that, hey, apni dukan, right? Amazon is apni dukan. It's just as similar as your corner kirana store, right? We are just the kind of same people. We are trying to sell something similar, but it's just that we have a different kind of a model in place. Though this kind of customer perception is taking a very long time to build, it is there to some extent. If we analyze our data, then we see that the metro city customers are more likely to purchase, because just in terms of talking about the overall literacy levels and all of that, and they are like more digital natives to some extent. Maybe they are using their phones the right way they're supposed to use, and due to all of that, they're more likely to purchase from these platforms. But the tier 2 city customers are not. And this is something, a huge work stream is going on in my team itself, where we are trying to focus on different consumer sets in India, and we are prominently focusing on the tier 2 cities, right? Because that is where we are bleeding like anything. And with the new players like Misho's coming up, the kind of model that you will see that of Misho, right? The kind of advertising or the communications they are using is again that, hey, everyone is using it, right? And it is even cheaper than what your local store may give you. And everyone around you is buying from that. So why don't you as well give it a try? And it is at a very low price, low cost kind of a thing. So you should, probably go out and try this and buy this. So that's the kind of perception they are trying to build. And we are, kind of following the suit and going after that. But yeah, it's of course at the end of the day, it's very, very difficult to build that same kind of a perception for groceries or something, fruits and vegetables in general. And it's still kind of an I would say uh, a strategy phase, as I mentioned, for the lack of better words, right? That we are trying to figure out what works. So it's just experimentation. We'll do 10 different things, and out of that, we'll try to figure out, hey, this is the one thing that is working best. So then going ahead, we'll put all our efforts into that one or two things that we discover are working well with the Indian consumer. So it's just kind of learn and go forward kind of a mode as of now. So it's
And
just
also,
evolving the.
like when we order something like a low value kind of thing, like up to 1000, we are okay. But when I have to buy, say, laptop or say mobile phone, okay, I don't have that trust on the on e-commerce. I prefer to go
Right.
in the market, touch the thing, then the like see, try that electronic device, and then I will try to purchase that thing, right? So that
Right,
is why,
right.
like, that perception is also different when it comes to high end things also, right?
Exactly, yeah. And those are the kind of customer VOCs we continuously keep on hearing, right? From tier two cities mostly, that, hey, I'm not very confident while making such a huge purchase from you. What if at the end of the day I receive a faulty product and then you refuse to take it back? So that is
Right.
the kind of, again, a big problem we're facing, that how we go to these customers and tell them that, hey, we have kind of, we are a very customer obsessed company. We listen to our customers. If you're facing any kind of problem, we'll, move mountains to make sure that your problem is resolved. But it's just it's still at the end of the day, as I mentioned, the overall landscape is evolving, right? Customers are becoming more and more literate about these things, and as we move along in the time, right? And uh, it will become more mature. And for now, at least for now, while promoting this kind of a things, is something like, we are spending huge bucks on the marketing. And by marketing, I just don't mean the advertising we are doing, but it's rather the discounts that we are offering, right? By partnering with, like, if you say Samsung phone is first available on Amazon, and his customers are more likely to buy it there than to wait for another 15 days and go to Chroma to buy that. So these are the kind of quick fixes that we are implementing till that entire consumer mindship change comes into picture.
Right, right. And my last question is, like Amazon is a market leader, like they always have something novel to offer, right? But what is
Mhm.
the biggest challenge Amazon is facing right now, like these days?
Yeah. So, and I should give it to you that you have, with your first question itself, you have listed down the biggest challenge that Amazon is facing right now, and that is winning the customers that are there in tier 2+ cities. Because here, Amazon is just not doing that great. If you see, right, the players, like, if you see the market research reports, then you will see players like Flipkart, for that matter, or your Meesho, for that matter. These new entrants, they are doing great. And why they are doing great is because customers have that perception that hey, they are delivering better value. Meesho is delivering products which are low priced and they are offering great discounts on that, whereas Amazon is not. And why is that? Because Amazon is perceived as a bit of a high-end brand. When customers want to purchase, say, electronic products for that matter, or some high-end fashion, then maybe they'll go to Amazon. And or to some extent, it can be Amazon's fault as well, right? On the platform, they're showcasing these high-end products so that the customer's perception is like that. Hey, it is a high-end platform. It is not delivering this 400 rupees kurti to me, and hence they will go to Meesho. And this is what we are trying to do. This is what we are trying to switch the mindset in the tier 2 plus cities, that hey, we have all the collection that we are seeing on the other platforms, so come and buy from us as well.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah. Cool. I don't really see any other questions coming up on the chat box.
तेजस तेजस आवाज येतोय?
Yes sir, yes.
हा, तर आता मला होस्ट बनवा.
Yes sir, just a minute.
ओके, पार्टिसिपेंटला जाऊन
Make host. Done sir.
Okay. Now it is time for vote of thanks on behalf of IIC and that is Institutions Innovation Council and Department of Engineering. I'm very thankful to Mr. Tejas Ahire for delivering very informative, fruitful, and very excellent session on business model canvas. And in his session, he explained the 9 block or a template, which include business incurring cost, revenue generation, various values, infrastructure related, which enhance the business. Thank you, Tejas. And I am also very thankful to our chairman of Kekiwag Education Society, our principal of college and HOD of mechanical engineering for encouraging and for supporting this session. I am also thankful to all participants and also thankful to convener, Institution Innovation Council, Dr. R.K. Munje sir, and coordinator, GB Davre sir. Thank you again to all, and I am declaring the session is over. Thank you, Tejas.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. And it has been a great audience. Thanks so much for bearing with me throughout the session. And yeah, please feel free to connect afterwards if you have any concerns, questions, anything.
Okay, thank you, Tejas. Now I am ending this webinar.